Today I'm going to be sharing some of my favourite uncommon houseplants, and yeah, maybe you will love some of these as much as I do. The first one is Philodendron atabapoense, and I got this one from Grow Tropicals. I've actually never seen this one in garden centres. I'd be really interested to know how easy to get hold of it is where you live. But yeah, I ordered this one online from Grow Tropicals and it's growing so beautifully. It has these really lovely elongated leaves, and then on the backs it has a kind of maroon colour. And I think that this is a really good alternative to, say, the Spiritus Sancti, which tends to be really expensive. This one kind of has the same long leaves and it's far cheaper to get hold of. I don't really see many people talking about this one, and I really think it's a lovely plant. I think it's just as beautiful as a lot of the other longer leaf plants out there. I'm really glad that I chose to buy this one. It's definitely one of my favourite philodendrons. At some point I'm going to have to get it something to climb, because as you can see it is a climbing plant, and I think maybe in a couple of leaves time it will be time to give this one something to climb. But I have to say, this is probably one of the plants that I'm most excited about growing as we go over the months and the years. I'm really excited to see how this one looks when it gets bigger. That's the good thing about growing a plant, isn't it? From small, you get to watch it grow into a big mature plant. But yeah, absolutely love this one. I could highly recommend it. Next up is Rhipsalis bolivianum, and I've only ever seen this once, and I saw it in a garden centre. I've never actually seen it online, to be honest, but the one time I saw it in the garden centre I bought it. I've never seen it again since then, so I think it's fairly uncommon, but it's a really cool plant. I mean, look at that. Not only does it look cool, but it's also really easy to look after. I think mine may need repotting because it's drying out so fast at the moment, but I just really enjoy how this one almost looks like a hairdo. And it's a cactus, but it's a jungle cactus, so it's a little bit different to desert cactus. It's not spiky at all, so if you don't like spines, this one's good for you. It's lovely and smooth. It propagates so well, really easy to propagate. I did make a video on how to propagate this one, so I will leave a link to that in the description if you're interested. But yeah, it responds really well to being propagated, and it comes out with all these weird kind of tendrils coming out of tendrils, and it's just a really fun one, I think. And as I say, it's fast becoming one of my favourite plants for sure. It looks so good on the shelf. It really is great for that jungly look, if you're going for a jungly look, which many of us are, let's face it. Another hanging plant that I've only ever seen once, and the one time I saw it I bought it, is this one. This is a Dischidia, and this one is the variegated version. And like I say, I've only ever seen this once, and the time I saw it I bought it because I thought it was beautiful, and obviously I didn't know if I would ever see it again because it's one of those plants that I just have never seen before. But it's a really delicate plant. It's got lovely variegation in it, and I believe you'd get a normal green version of this too. This one has variegation in it, but it's very delicate. It's very easy to kind of knock the leaves off. I had to be very gentle when repotting this one, and occasionally I'll just get a leaf fall off for apparently no reason. But yeah, it does seem quite delicate, but it's a really beautiful plant. I love it. I haven't had it that long yet, so I'm not sure how fast it grows or anything like that, but I do know that it looks really good on a shelf, and yeah, it's definitely getting plenty of bright and direct light. With it being variegated, I'm just assuming that it wants lots of bright light, but I just think it's really cool and fun. and yeah, I love it. I would highly recommend it if you could get your hands on it. Like I say, I've never actually seen this one anywhere else. So again, I'd be really interested to know if you've ever seen this one or if it's common where you are. It definitely seems uncommon here in the UK where I am, because like I said, I've only ever seen it once, but it's a really fun plant. It's got beautiful foliage and I just love the way it hangs. It's very, very delicate and dainty, and it definitely has a kind of elegance about it. Another of my favourites at the moment is the Syngonium albo. This one seems fairly uncommon because it took me quite a while to get hold of it, and you don't really see it around that much. I'm not really sure why. It's not particularly expensive when you do find it, but for some reason it's fairly hard to get hold of, I found. But I do think it's beautiful, and so far I'm finding it really easy to care for, and I just love it. It's one of my favourite plants. I think it's a really good one to get hold of if you do see it. If you do happen to see it when you're out and about and you're unsure about whether to get it, I would definitely grab one, because yeah, they don't seem that common and they're really easy growers too, so I don't think you'd regret it. But it just keeps putting out all these really unusually splashed leaves. Each one is different from the last, and it's just a really interesting plant to grow, I find. Fairly compact, so this is actually a vining plant, so it does climb. If you don't give it something to climb, of course it will trail. I intend to get mine climbing, but it hasn't quite reached that stage yet where it needs something to climb. There are a lot of plants in the pot though, so once this one does get to the stage where it needs to climb, I think it's going to need quite a bit of support, because there are countless vines in there. There are many plants in the pot, so yeah, it will need kind of some substantial support at some point, but at the moment I'm just letting it do its thing. It seems like a fairly fast grower too. I do occasionally find the odd pest on this one, and to be honest with you, I tend to find them on most of my Syngoniums, but yeah, I just stay on top of it, make sure I wash them off, and that seems to work. I haven't ever had any pest issues that have got out of hand. I think it's just a case of staying on top of it really, like you would with any plant. But I think pests tend to kind of flock to Syngoniums because Syngoniums have got really tender thin leaves, and I suppose they're probably quite munchable to the pests. This next one is called Hoya Flamingo Dreams, and here in the UK it seems to be fairly uncommon. I have actually seen it a few times in my time of going around the garden centres and shopping, but not very often. So this was probably maybe the second time I saw it when I bought this one, and the first time I saw it I didn't buy it and I kind of regretted it, so this time I bought it. Again, this may be more common where you are, so of course I'm interested to hear if things are different where you are in the world, but here in the UK it's definitely not that common. I can't seem to really get hold of it anywhere, and yeah, so I snapped it up the second time I found it, and I'm really glad I did, because this one is really cool. This is my first kind of, well, it's not my first Hoya, but it's my first kind of more of a bigger Hoya. I have a Hoya Bella too, but it's quite small, but this one just has everything I like in a plant. It has pink, which I'm just loving pink plants. Pink plants can be a little bit tricky, I find. It depends on the plant, of course, but for example with pink Syngoniums I find they can be a little bit tricky. They do tend to attract pests, and also they tend to grow quite slowly. I wouldn't say this one's growing hugely fast at the moment, and the leaves that are completely white, they tend to just fall off like this one did. So I guess that's to be expected really, because those leaves have no chlorophyll in. But yeah, we're hoping for more leaves with more green in them. The plant will be more stable that way, but I just like the fact that the leaves come out with some pink on, and then eventually of course they do fade out. It's a shame that leaf there That pink one will probably fall off because it will go white, but it's better when they come out kind of like this one here. So they've got more green. They can survive better that way. But, you know, it is what it is. It's the price we pay for wanting variegated plants, isn't it? They don't always want to behave. But yeah, I'm just obsessed with this one at the moment, and it has definitely given me the Hoya bug. I definitely do want a few more Hoyas. I've been umming and ahhing about different ones to get, and I'm not quite sure which ones to get, so I'm just waiting a little bit so that I don't impulse buy them. But this one, yeah, as I say, it really does have everything I like in a plant. My only complaint really would be that sometimes when the leaves are fully white they fall off, but hopefully, like I said, we'll get more growth like this. But it remains to be seen how fast this one grows. We will see, but I really do love it, and yeah, I'm really glad I added it to my collection too. Next is Philodendron billietiae. I just love this one. It's so beautiful. I'm definitely a fan of longer leaf philodendrons now. I didn't actually used to like them, but this was the first plant that I got with longer leaves that I actually decided, yeah, I'm in. I was wrong. They are really nice, but this one is just a really fun plant. I think it gives a real jungle look. It's got the most interesting shaped leaves, and the colours in it are really interesting too. If you look, you can see the petioles kind of start out orange and then they fade out. It's quite subtle, but I think it's really beautiful. And yeah, this one hasn't grown a huge amount for me yet because it had to recover from some root rot, but we seem to be stable now because the existing leaves seem stable. I am seeing new growth, but yeah, I'm obsessed with this one. And I don't know what you think about the variegated billietiaes. Do you like them? Do you not like them? I know some people think they look a bit weird. I'm kind of on the fence at the moment. I think some of the variegated billietiaes I've seen look really nice, some of them don't, so I'm not sure, but they definitely have to come down in price for me before I would buy one because they're very expensive at the moment. And the thing is when plants are very expensive, it's almost not worth it, well, at least for me, because I know that eventually it's going to come down in price. That's what happens when you collect plants for a number of years. You kind of learn that there's a cycle they go through. When they first come out, they might be expensive and considered rare, but eventually they will come down in price and they'll be really easy to get hold of. So I tend to wait. But I think if I was to see a variegated billietiae at a reasonable price, yes, I would buy it. And yeah, I think I could definitely learn to love it. Next is one of my all-time favourite Syngoniums, Syngonium mojito. I just absolutely love this one. I know some of you have mentioned that you find it hard to maintain the variegation in yours, and sometimes they do go green, but I've been quite lucky so far. Even though I have some vines that have gone a bit green, most of them are still maintaining variegation. And these ones I have here are propagations that I rooted in soil. Did I root them in soil? I think I might have rooted them in water and then planted them in soil. But it is a really easy plant to propagate, and I certainly have never seen this one in a garden centre. I've seen it a lot online, and that's how I got this one, but I've never actually seen it in a garden centre. I'd be really interested to know actually if you've seen it in real life whilst plant shopping anywhere. If you have, let me know where you are in the world and where you saw it. But yeah, I've only ever seen this one online, and I have to say it's definitely one of my favourite Syngoniums, maybe even my favourite, but I just think it's got such an interesting shape, such an interesting variegation, and it's also a really fast grower too, and I do love fast growing plants. I recently reset mine. This is, as I said, a pot of propagations. The main plant is also growing back really nicely, so I'm quite glad that I reset it. I think it was the right decision for the plant. But yeah, I would definitely highly recommend this one. Again, Syngoniums can run into issues with pests and things. They do seem to attract thrips really easily, but it's just a case really of being on top of your prevention, and if you do that, then you can enjoy Syngoniums. Let me know in the comments what your favourite uncommon plants are, and yeah, I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.